I've been into fitness my whole life. I've always been moving my body, staying healthy just naturally. And fitness, I actually had to start getting back into shape when I had my first child. So then I was more aware of like, okay, I gained some extra weight, now I need to lose some weight, and that got me into a gym setting. We officially opened June 1st of this year, and the response has been great. Santa Maria Valley is still relatively affordable as far as looking at square footage for businesses. You know, with the COVID mask order lifted right as we were opening June 1st, I think that coincided very well for our new business. As you know, most gyms had a mandatory mask order, even if you had distancing and even if you had sanitation practices. We have a huge opening, we have a huge bay that lets in the air. So we have the open air aspect. Their fans are up in here circulating the air properly to take those measures against COVID. The classes and services that we're currently offering are gym memberships first and foremost. They're really affordable at $45 a month. We don't believe in having registration costs or enrollment fees or cancellation fees. We want our clients and members to be here because they want to be here. All of our classes are co-ed in all ages. So, you know, whoever wants to attend these classes, they're open to anyone. We have also a HIIT class that just started, so the high intensity interval training, and that's much more likely to draw in both men and women equally. The most rewarding part about being a business owner is getting more in touch with your community and seeing the support and actually seeing community members.
Anyone can do their best when things are going their way and like everything's fun and easy, but it's about like, can you still go there when things are hard? Like that's when it counts to me. The job never stops. Like it's 24/7. I have to think about what I'm eating. When I'm at home and I'm not training, I have to think about how I can recover the best. It is like my full-time job. Like I don't just shut off after I leave the gym. You kind of have to sacrifice like a little bit of like your friendships and your relationships with people just because like your main priority is going to the games and like it just takes a lot of work. In high school, like the fun thing to do with your friends was to go like meet up at the gym. We weren't working out or working hard. We were just like having like a social hour. My dad was a personal trainer, so he's like, I'm not paying for a gym membership. You can either have a CrossFit membership or you can have nothing. I'll kind of talk you through what I do for lunch. I just do stuff that's like really easy to digest, which is super plain sweet potatoes, rice, and chicken. So I'll never understand how people can train after they eat vegetables. Yeah, the salt is very important. I have to have my time in the morning to like just regroup and like get my head right for the day of training. I don't touch my phone, it stays off. I just like read, drink coffee. Okay, so the Daily Stoic, I have read this every single day for like 3 years. Power of Now is a good one. Oh, this is called The Brand Gap. That's one that I just read like on marketing. This was Jada Smith's book I just read. Reading about their like childhood growing up, kind of like I texted my mom after I read that and I was like, I'm just so thankful that I didn't have like a hard upbringing. She talks about how she's like older and she still thinks of things that happened in her childhood. Okay, this one actually was so good. Shaq, his book, Unbroken, really good book. I never had something that was like so specific that I wanted to do. I remember like even going into college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. CrossFit kind of like just fell into my lap of like a career. Hey. Good, how are you? I warm up probably like 20 to 30 minutes. Back in the day, like when I had school and stuff, I would warm up maybe 5 minutes. Of course I was training, but going into my first regional, like I had zero expectations or intentions of going to the CrossFit Games. I was like a sophomore in college, didn't have that much time to train. I would probably train like 2 to 3 hours a day. And then I won my region and I was like, oh my gosh, like if I actually took this seriously, then I think that I could be like really good at this. And then like I made the CrossFit Games when I was 19 and I was like, I didn't even think that was in the cards. Every single year I like finish the games and I'm just like, dang, like there's so many things I could have done better. I would be so regretful if I stopped and I had so much left in the tank. There was a time where I got like extremely burnt out when I just like called my dad one day crying that like, I think I want to quit CrossFit. I'm so overwhelmed. Like I don't want to compete this year.
Yeah.
And so like he was very supportive on the call, but then like even sitting back on it and reflecting, he called me and he's just like, you know that we will love you no matter what you do.
Whatever you want to do.
Like you do not need to do that. We support you guys fully. And it's just like so sweet. It's really hard to find the balance between like doing enough, but then like making sure that you're not getting hurt and staying healthy. But
how's that been like now? Like going to the gym and doing stuff now, like you got hurt, then you're better and like everything. Is there still like a fear that lingers?
It's not
or
really like a fear anymore. I think I've kind of like come over the fear, which I talk about a lot in the book. That's the thing is I wanted to explain how it happened, like where my mental state was and like what I was thinking. When you start thinking too much about like the games and your next competition and everything, you get anxious for everything. So I just take each workout and do the best that I can today. And then honestly, some days when things go the absolute worst, those are the best kind of training days because you kind of learn what you need to be working on. I think also too, like I don't have this like burning motivation every single day. Like that's just not realistic. Even on days that I don't want to start, I've never finished a workout and like regretted it. When it comes down to it, year after year, like this is gonna be my 10th year, it's more about the process and enjoying like getting to do this with these people and enjoying like the daily grind. And so like having friends to do it with makes a huge difference. A lot of people find this like uncomfortable, but after a long day of training, I just like to get in here and like focus on my breath and kind of relax. Over the years, when maybe I've had like horrible events or even like horrible years, they've turned out to be some of the best moments of my career because I've got to like learn something that's way more important in life. Longevity has been huge for me, and a lot of that starts with what am I doing to recover after I'm done training. And for me, it's like ice barreling, saunaing, like all these different things.
You know, I used to like go to sleep, and if I had gone over my carbs by like 2 grams, I was sitting there and I was like, oh gosh, like today wasn't a good day. And I just realized that I didn't want to be so focused on food and have it connect so just intimately with my happiness. And I wanted to still be healthy. I still wanted to compete in CrossFit, but I found that if I went too far on one side, it wasn't serving me like holistically. Like everything else, it's a constantly evolving journey and education process.
Thank you.
I was in my last semester of college, like, and I had this whole plan. I was gonna finish school and go out into the ocean and do research and like be one with the ocean life. It's like the dream I've had since I was 3. And so last semester of college, I'm like calling my parents. I'm like, hey, so I found this thing called CrossFit. I think I can be really good at it and I'm really gonna go for it. And my parents are like, what? What's CrossFit?
And there goes Dani Speegle, a first last night and a second to kick off the final day of competition. Dani Speegle for the win.
I can still feel it. I can hear what it felt like as soon as I like put my arm out.
Dani Speegle takes the sandbag ladder.
That was an amazing event. It's like a moment that'll stay with me forever. My biggest issue is always the running and the pounding of the body, and it's just no secret that some of the lighter athletes don't struggle as much, but then again, you know, I'm one of the stronger athletes, so it's finding that perfect balance.
Gonna take a look, see what I can make.
For me, it's always gonna be like, how can I tailor my nutrition to where some of the cardio aspects of this sport aren't as just grueling. Oh, this is always such a dilemma. Maybe I'll do half and half. Oh. definitely am a high protein diet. So I'm gonna add a little extra chicken to my tacos. Typically, I need to cut a little bit before competition, so it's just tailoring that, making sure I still have enough energy to train as much as I need to while maintaining in like a cut. There's been big milestones, but I feel like every single season I kind of learn something new, try something new when it comes to nutrition. I don't have like a true structure. I just kind of like go and see what other people are like, maybe what like Krypton did today. So please hold. I'm figuring my life out. From when you first start CrossFit to like being a games athlete, I think the progression is pretty similar for everybody. Your volume just increases. You're able to do more. You add in more stuff. So maybe you did one session, and all of a sudden it became 2 sessions. And all of a sudden it became 2 sessions plus running, plus you should probably like do some odd object stuff. Try to get as much volume in as we can while, you know, honing in our own personal weaknesses. For 2023, I would say I'm still kind of like, all goals are kind of just up there, and I'll kind of reach for one when the moment kind of presents itself and it feels right. I want to go out and compete. I want to go and do the best that I can, but my goals have always been bigger than just the competitive side of CrossFit. I am humbled every single day by how many times women reach out and say that I've been a positive influence to them on their body positivity, their self-love, their confidence. I want to continue just to inspire women to love themselves and be empowered. And while I love competing in CrossFit, it'll always be a goal to go out there and go to the CrossFit Games, continue to do well as a competitive athlete. I don't know what's gonna happen, but what I do know is in some form I'll be out on the competition floor and then trying to empower women to love themselves.